All right, everyone, in this video, I will show you how to set up your brand style guide in Sketch so you always have a reference for you and your designers to use when designing anything for your brand. This will make sure all your design remains on brand and will help to keep brand consistency and build brand recognition. All right, guys, let's get started here. So what I have going on here is I've loaded up the brand style guide template that is downloadable from this module. So you actually have this sketch file. I've loaded it up here in Sketch. You have the sketch file, and then you also have a JPEG of this. So make sure you download that and you can follow along here. But basically what I'm going to do in this tutorial is I'm going to show you how to build your style guide right here in the Sketch program. So feel free to load up Sketch and follow along with me. And really the best way to do this is I've got it loaded in here, and I'm just going to create a duplicate of this so you can see exactly how I went ahead and built this. So to first off start here, I'm going to kind of move some stuff out of the way here so we get a little bit more screen real estate here. I've got my style guide set up, so I'm going to start by creating an artboard. So basically what you need to do here is you can just go ahead and click A on the keyboard, and that's going to change an artboard here. And you have some options up here. You can turn it into a responsive web, different paper sizes, and then the different Android and Apple devices. But for right now, I'm just going to go ahead and draw out an artboard, and basically that adds an artboard on here. So the width of this one right here is, you'll see it's 1500 pixels. So I'm just going to make that the same size here. So over here on the right, I'm going to type in 1500, and then basically you can adjust the height as well, or you can grab these little edges here and pull this down, which I'm going to pull this down to make sure it matches up with the other one. So there we go. So now we've got our artboard set up. And then what I like to typically do up here on the top is I like to add just kind of this is part of the color palettes, and these are all the colors that are associated with my brand style guide. So I like to add those to the top. I also add like a little background image here, and then I also like to add the logo in here as well, just so if I'm passing off this style guide to any other designers, they have a reference for the logo and the colors right here up on the top. So to get started here, basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a little square of all these individual colors. So right up here on the top, you've got your rectangle tool. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that, and I'm going to go ahead and drag out a little rectangle here. So if I look over here, these rectangles, I've got them set up right now, 187 pixels by 65. So we're just going to match this up and basically go ahead and make this 187. And then what I say on this height here, this is 65. That's already set. So we've got that box on there. It's size. Now we just have to change the color. So the color here is over here. You got your fill and the border color. I'm going to turn off the border color. So now we just have a fill color. So you can click on this and you can choose any colors you want here, or you can add in the hex color right here. But I'm matching this up. So I'm just going to actually pull the same color from over here. So what you do is you click on this, and there's a little eyedropper tool. You can click on that, bring it over here and select that color. And now I have a nice black box right there. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this multiple times. So I'm going to create all these different little color boxes. So click on there. And what I'm going to do is going to do Command C on the Mac or Control C on the PC. And then I'm going to go ahead and do Command V, which is I'm going to go ahead and paste that. So now I've made a duplicate of this one. And then basically I'm just going to slide it over until it matches up with that one. Now I have to change the color on this one. So same as before, use this little eyedropper tool, come up here, click on the color I want. And I'm just going to go ahead and repeat this all the way across. And I'm going to copy that one, and then I'm going to paste that one, and then I'm just going to keep doing this all the way through. All right, guys, now we have all the colors right there up on the top, a nice little indicator of all the colors that are in the brand style guide. And next what I want to do is I want to create this little hero image that I've got going on up here. So first off, we've got an image here in the background. So we want to load in that image. And if I was go up here, click on image, it's going to open up my browser here so I can then browse to where this image is. And if I go ahead and click on that, I've got the gym image already set up there. Go ahead and click on open, and it's going to pull this image in. Now what I have to do is just maneuver this image over onto this artboard, and then I can either scale it by using the numbers up here or the arrows, but I'm just going to grab the sides here, these anchor, and pull this in, and then I'm going to go ahead and stretch that down. So basically what you're going to see here now is it's a little bit taller than I want. So basically what I want to do is I want to add a mask on this, the size of this right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a little rectangle over the part that I want to be masked out. So I've got a rectangle right here, which is 1500 by 402. So once again, I'm going to use this rectangle tool, and then I'm going to go ahead and draw draw a rectangle over the top of this. 1500, I'm gonna make it 402, just like the other one. Basically the color doesn't matter on here because you're gonna be using this as a mask. So now that I have this set up and it's over the top of it, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click on that, and then I'm gonna hold down the shift key, and I'm gonna click the image. So now both of those are selected. I'm then gonna go ahead and right click and scroll down, hit mask, and now I've just masked off that image the size that I want it to be shown. Now you'll also notice that this one is darkened down a little bit, so I have a layer over the top of this one that's a little bit of opacity on there. So once again, I'm gonna repeat that by adding another square over the top of this one, same size as before. So I'm gonna draw this square over the top of that, and I'm gonna change the color to black, but I'm gonna turn off the border color first. Once again, click on that, bring that to black, and then I'm just gonna bring down the opacity on that so you can start to see the image come through. So over on this one, I've got that set at 65, so I'm just gonna match that as well. So we got that all set. Next, I wanna throw the logo in here. So just like before, click on the image up here on the top, go ahead, click on the logo that I've already got set up in here, and it's gonna bring the logo in. I'm gonna set this on the top, and then what you can do is you can go ahead and center it over this area if you click both of these. So click the background again, hold down shift, click that. Now both of these items are connected, or they're both selected. And then up here on the top, you have some alignment tools. So I'm gonna click on that. That's gonna align it centered. So for example, if it was over here and I clicked on center, you see it's gonna center that nicely. And then I'm just gonna center it vertically as well. So we're all centered up there and ready to go. So we got the header set up here. Now we're just gonna go down here and add in basically your different fonts and the different colors and lorem ipsum text, and just get all that set up as well. So moving through here, I'm gonna add another box in here. So I'm gonna draw on another box the same size as this one, just like I've done before. Move this over here in this position, turn off the border color, gonna make this black. And then I wanna add a little text in here that says typographies. So up here, text tool, click on that, come down here. It's gonna give you some text, and basically I'm just gonna type in typography here. And now I've got that set up. I just have to now go ahead and change up the actual font and the font size on here. So you see it's a little bit too large. So over here, I have it set up right now as Lado 18. So I'm just gonna mimic that again, Lado 18, and we're all set there. So then I'm gonna move that into place just by dragging and dropping. So now we've got that header in there. And basically what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna add my font. So on my style guide, I'm using Lado font. So I'm just kind of putting the fonts in here. So I'm just gonna copy and paste this and bring it over here. But once again, you would just click on the text tool, and then you would write out fitness trainer, and making sure that that font shows up here by making it black. And then this is gonna be 60 pixels. So I'm gonna go ahead and resize this up to 60 using these little arrows here. And then I'm gonna left justify it. And then it should be also the weight of black. So I'm gonna scroll down here, change that to black. Now I've got that font all set up and ready to go. So I'm gonna move that into place. And then I also like to add a little headings in here just to let people know that these are gonna be heading fonts in the style guides. So I'm just gonna copy and paste that over here. And then basically when you get over here, if you want to align these, if these are a little off, you can just select both of them. Once again, you click on one of them, hold down shift, select the other one. Both those items are selected, and then you can use your alignment tools up here to align those. And then basically what I like to do is I like to tell the people what this is. So when my designers come in here, they're going to know that this is Lado black and it's 60 pixels in size. So I'm just going to go ahead once again, select that. I'm going to Control C to copy it, V to paste that in there. So there we have it. We've got our first heading in here, and basically what I'm going to do now is I'm going to duplicate all this for all the different headings and then all the different subheadings, and then we'll talk about the paragraph text next. All right, there we go, guys. We have our headings and our subheadings fonts in here. And next I want to talk a little bit about the paragraph text. So this is the text that's gonna be on your website. So whenever there's long paragraphs or sentences, this is just your basic body text on your website. So this is something I mentioned before. You want to make sure that it's a very legible font, easy to read. You want to stay away from all capitals on here. And typically this will be somewhere around a 16 to 18, maybe a 14 point size, depending on the font. But this is basically all the text that's gonna be copied on your website. So I like to add those in here as well for the style guide, so the designer knows what basically the main body text is going to be. So go ahead and copy that over into here. So now we have that all set up. And then also I like to give a little bit of an indication here for bullet point. It's pretty much the same as the body text, maybe a little bit larger. So I like to indicate what the font and the font weight and the size of bullet point should be, so the designers and developers know what that should be indicated as. So I'm going to go ahead and paste that over here. So now basically we have all the typography set up here, and now we're going to talk about a little bit about the colors here. Once again, I'm going to copy this little bar down here. So so we can reuse this and bring this down here and then just change up the heading on this to be colors instead of typography. And we're going to talk a little bit about colors here. So in the actual module before this, I talked about your different background colors, your attention colors, your text colors. So really what you want to do is just add these in here. So these are just little boxes of colors at 155 pixels each over here. So once again, using this rectangle tool, I'm going to go ahead and do a little box here, drag that out. And like I said, this should be 165 each. So we got those set up there. These can be basically any size you want, but this is just the layout that I choose to do. And then we're going to turn off the border color, and then this should be black. So you can either go over here, and this is going to be the hexadecimal color right here, which is just all zeros, which is straight black, or you can just go ahead and enter that over here, which would be all zeros. And then basically we're going to repeat this for all the different colors. All right, now I've got all the colors actually added in here. So what I want to do is just indicate what they are so the designers know. So once again, these are the background colors. So I'm just going to add that little heading up in here so they know that these are background colors, and then also what the attention colors are. So we have the 2 attention colors. We're going to go ahead and add those in here so they know what those are. And then lastly, we have a few text colors. And then I also like to add in the actual hexadecimals here for each of these colors, just like to indicate what these are. So the designer will always know what the hexadecimal color is for each of these. So next up, I just like to add some buttons in here as well, using the attention colors and then also some of the icons. Now I've chosen some icons using Shutterstock. Shutterstock is a great resource to search for different icons, and I just want to kind of let the designer know the style of the type of icons that I would like for my style guide and my brand. So once again, I'm just going to add another little heading up here. I'm going to copy and paste this one over into this area. So now we have a little heading for the CTA buttons, and then the buttons, what we're going to do is set up here. These are, I'm going to use the rectangle tool again, and I'm just going to go over the top of this one so I get the sizing right, and then pull it over to here. Now with these buttons, I'm going to indicate the color on here again. I'm going to turn off the border color, and then I'm going to use the eyedropper tool again, go ahead and pull in that gold color. And then if you'll notice here that these buttons are a little rounded on the edges. So the corners are rounded, and they are rounded at 6 pixels. Go over here and click on this button, and then basically if I zoom in here so you can see, I have squared off edges right now. And if I go up here to rounded corners, just up this to 6, and now I have some nicely rounded corners on there. And then I'm going to add the text on there so the designer knows the size of the text and the font that should be on there. Go ahead and paste that on there. There's one button, got that one all set up. That's one of my call to action buttons. And then I also like to give an alternate call to action button, which is the optional color here, which is a blue. So I'm gonna go ahead and click on that. And then basically I'm gonna use that eyedropper tool again to then pull that blue from there. And then the text on this one, we change that off to just be all white. So you can use that and switch that to white. And next up here, we're gonna add in those icons that I mentioned before. So once again, just kind of go down here, add a little header in there, and then copy and paste this heading over here to change that up. Like I said, I went over to Shutterstock and I downloaded all these icons, so you can go ahead and do that. If I was to click on image, here is the actual icon set that I had purchased from Shutterstock. And basically if I was to open that, it's gonna pull that icon set right in here. And then basically what I can do is I can click on each of these individual icons and then bringing that over into the area that you want it on. And then you need to go ahead and change that color. And over here, once again on this color palette, I'm just gonna use that eyedropper tool. And then there's that icon that I've got all set up there. Basically what I wanna do is I wanna resize that down just a little bit, so you can use these tools and resize this down. I've got the icon set up right now, looks like at 68 pixels. There is your icon all set up, and basically what you're going to do is you're going to replicate and duplicate all that for each of those different icons in the different colors. So it gives a good indicator for the designer to know colors of the icons and then basically the style of the icons. So there you have it, guys. If I zoom out here, we have a good duplicate here of the original style guide. Like I said, this style guide is actually downloadable in the sketch file and then also a JPEG file. So make sure you download that. Use this as a guide to develop your own style guide. And I basically walked you through everything you need to do to set up your very own style guide. So hopes this helps, guys. And as always, if you have any questions, please let me know. I am here to help.